what meaningful ways will you attempt to move the government to fix this broken process? Thank you.
It is something that is of deep concern to the Liberal government, and I asked the leadership that very question some time ago. I'm very aware, acting for the Muslim community here in Guelph for many, many years, of the problems that exist, not just with the Muslim community, but with many, many other people from around the world. We have to have better qualification recognition, both from universities and work experience. We need to, I believe, make a list of all the universities across the world that we immediately recognize as having credentials that will enable somebody to qualify when they come to Canada before they even come, so that they know that their qualifications will be recognized before they get here, before coming here, and then struggling to find out whether they're qualified. We have to have a far more meaningful association in Guelph, much like they have TRIAC in Toronto, where immigrants are better supported, where they're helped to find those low places where they can upgrade their qualifications or indeed have their qualifications met. This current government offered to do that, and when they were elected, but all they did was open up an office and direct all inquiries to the provincial government. So something meaningful must be done, and I know that this government is committed to doing that. I know that this Liberal Party is committed to doing that, not this government.
Wow. The NDP has been trying to work on this question for a great many years. Right now, 1 in 4 Canadians can't find a family doctor, while there are about 4,000 foreign-trained doctors in Ontario alone who can't get a license to practice. Canada tries to attract trained people to come to this country, people trained in medicine, teaching, engineering, and once they get here, many of them find that they can't get jobs in their field. Now, sometimes it's a matter of credentialing, sometimes it's a matter of simple racism and bigotry. In the area of credentialing, we don't have any kind of an agency, either national or provincial, that is set up to help people with credentials from other countries get up to speed with Canadian credentials. And we should have that. Mentoring programs, perhaps, to help get immigrants up to Canadian standards, just not let them fall through the crack. It's a waste of talent. It's a waste of labor. It really is quite appalling. The mechanism for that is not a hard thing to put together. It's just that we have to make the effort. And right now, the Conservative government is not making the effort in that area. The NDP would probably try to set up an agency to where if a doctor came in, for instance, and the credentials weren't up to speed, that there would be a program in place, either through a university or through a training mechanism of some sort, to get that person's credentials up as quickly as possible. Not say go back to medical school and start over again, but to recognize the work that they had done and bring that up to a particular standard. We need the doctors. I mean, right here in Guelph. Guelph is a beautiful city, one of the easiest places to get people to move to, and we don't have enough doctors. And yet, as I say, we've got about 4,000 trained doctors from other countries in Ontario right now who are not working in that particular field. And that is not right.
Well, this is a double-edged sword. First of all, I hate to say it, we start poaching developing nations from their best people with their highest qualifications. Then we bring them here and we say, well, you can't work here and practice your skills. So then we have developed nations which have spent a tremendous amount of their GDP to educate someone to become a lawyer or a doctor or something like that. And then what does Canada do? We use them on a point system to bring them into the country. So we rob those developed nations of some of their most skilled people in the first place. So that's an issue that we face right off the start. The second is, when we come here, the Greens have been calling for this in our policy documents for years, about accelerating the recognition of qualified people from all sense, but also to bring in people of just skilled labor, people from all walks of life, not just the high skill areas. And this is a big concern because We need lots of people for general jobs, and there's lots of people wanting to, and unfortunately people just don't always want to leave the country, but they may have to for economic reasons. And so if we need people for specific economic areas, we should be looking at that in a more balanced perspective. And so we need to stop lying to people at the immigration offices in other nations and saying, yes, come on over, give us your money, here's the point system, and then putting them on social assistance and saying you can't work, you're not allowed to work, and if you do, you're going to be violating your social assistance. So we're very firmly on side on accelerating and stop talking about accelerating. This is my third election, and there's been no progress on this. There's been nothing done on this. It's the same issue. I got a call from a man from the Pakistan community the other day at the office, outraged about how his family have many qualifications and can't work in Guelph. And they were told, and they were allowed in the country and came here for that exact reason. So it's got to stop, and I think there seems to be a tremendous amount of poverty out there as a result.